Hello, Red Shirts. This is episode 21 of the Follow Me and Die YouTube series Roll20 for the Absolute Beginner. And I'm your host, Larry Hamilton. Today, I want to talk about some changes Roll20 has made in recent weeks. First, it's been out for a few months, but there's updated dynamic lighting. And on the campaign page, you'll see a screen offering to convert your older campaign using legacy dynamic lighting to updated dynamic lighting. And you'll see that right at the bottom of your page here. If you don't want to see the reminder, you can click the X to close it. And of course, you can go to the Help Center and it'll tell you how to do it. If you do click on that link, it'll tell you this tool is still in testing and will only convert your pages and tokens to the updated dynamic lighting. And they say use caution, and they suggest that you make a backup of your campaign before you run this tool. And to run it, you just go to Settings and Convert Lighting. That's an advanced topic for paid features instead of free features, and it's beyond the scope of the normal Roll20 for the Absolute Beginner series. So I just wanted to mention it so that I'm thorough, because that will be something that you see even on a brand new campaign, since the dynamic lighting update is still in testing. I assume at some point when they make it go live, well, it is live, but it's out of testing, that all campaigns that are new will be there, and I don't know how they're going to handle existing campaigns. If you're not using the paid features, it won't be a problem. Now, there are two other recent changes that I'm much more excited about because they impact running the game. The first is on the Page Toolbar. It used to be that it was only a left to right horizontal scroll, and you had to scroll for miles. That's no exaggeration if you have a lot of pages saved to the right to find the map you need for your session. Or if they go to a place they haven't been for a while, but you have a map, you can go find the map. Well, it was very inefficient, and trying to drag the map back towards the left to make it closer to where you were going to need it, that was very frustrating. And I ended up archiving the majority of the locations that my characters were not going to be for a while because they're on this quest off on a different area of the campaign world. So what they changed is they made it a vertical scroll, and it is only as wide as the space between the toolbar on the left and the zoom control on the right. So it's awesome. You can see all of it in one go. If you've got more than 2 rows, you get a horizontal scroll bar, so you can easily find that. So that makes it more critical that you name the map or page a name that stands out. If you have too many similar names, you're going to be futzing around trying to find the right one. Also, certain tokens take over the display on the map here. I'm not sure what you would do other than remove the token you don't want to be the focus of the map. And then they have also changed the page settings, I assume because they've got tabs for the dynamic lighting and the legacy lighting instead of being controls further down on the screen, that's in line with the eventual end of legacy lighting and everybody being on the updated dynamic lighting. The look of this page is different. It's not as wide, and you scroll down and all you control here, well, movement related to dynamic lighting, audio, of course, the archive and delete page options if you want to get rid of it, and then the other options are still all there as far as the size. And then dynamic lighting has its explanation, and legacy lighting has its explanation. The only thing that would be available to free would be the fog of war. I'm not sure how that is going to work with the new dynamic lighting because I have not messed with the new dynamic lighting, but it's not that big of a change. But I really, really, really like this because you don't have to take all day just trying to find the map you're looking for. And if they are archived, the archive will be down here, and you can just click on the archive and bring things out of archive. The other cool thing they did is on the tokens, also getting ready for the eventual rollout of updated dynamic lighting as the dynamic lighting. They added a tab for how to control the token for updated dynamic lighting and how to control it with the legacy, so whichever type of lighting you're using. They also added a new page for GM notes. I was hopeful that I could put in a link to a character sheet, which you can do, and you can see I've got a link, but it's not clickable. No matter how hard you click, it won't open up the character sheet. I was really looking forward to that. The nice thing about having the notes here is you don't necessarily have to create a journal page or character sheet for every NPC or every monster. You can just have the information here. But if you did have a sheet related to a token, I was hopeful that you could just click on it and open the sheet. Because after a while, if you've got a campaign that's been going as long as mine has, and you've got as many monsters and NPCs, you've got hundreds of characters and pages, and it would be really nice that you'd have the option to edit this token page like you can on a character sheet. If it's not in edit mode, the links are clickable. So that's my wish that hopefully Roll20 will do. I better write that up in the suggestions. The other thing they changed, of course, is on the details. They didn't rearrange it that much. They moved some options all down here. The three dot button here is player permissions. You have to hover over it. If you click on it, it'll freeze it in. Oh, I guess it doesn't freeze it in place. So if you hover over it, it comes up. If you get off of it, it stops. If the player permission is C, they can see everything on the token. So if it's a token, you don't want them to see everything on the token, don't have C marked. If edit is marked, the player is able to change the things. The only thing the player would be able to change are the things the player can see. So let's pop over here where I'm signed in as a player and see the player can only change the name and the token bars if they're set to edit, as I have in this case, and the token aura. If we change the options, take off the edit, we can still see, but now the name is gone, so they can't change the name. It looks like they can still change things on the token bar. They can, of course, see their name and token bar. And if we turn off the C, of course, you have to save it. Here, you can still see all that, but the name doesn't show. But because the player, myself, has control of the character sheet, I see the token bars here. But I only see the hit point token bar. I don't see the other options. Be able to see all the options here. I have to go back to see. I wanted to be able to change the name. There. So that's just a quick little update on the things that are new in Roll20. The tool to change updated dynamic lighting was added back at the beginning of August. The change to the maps and the tokens was done at towards the end of October. So it's fairly new, and it was a surprise. I didn't realize they'd made a change till a game I was playing in, I guess right after they released it. Things were different, and it surprised me. Nothing like learning about something's different in the middle of the session. but it was not difficult to figure out. Another thing I wanted to point out is on character sheets, as a game master, if you don't put in "can be edited and controlled by," the players cannot see anything other than the bio and info page. If the only thing that has player's journal, they can see it, but they can't see the details. So if you want a player to be able to access the character sheet portion of their character, you have to be sure that they have edit rights. They can change anything on there. So that's something that's easy to forget. I ran into that a couple of weeks ago when I was preparing to run a convention game for Gamehole Con, and the players couldn't see their character sheet. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot to do that. So keep that in mind. Hope you find the video helpful. Please recommend it to your friends. I just passed 950 subscribers, and my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, game on.